business class divided an imaginary $30,000 investment among 3 funds. The first fund grew 2%, the second grew 3%, and the third grew 5%. Total earnings were $990. The earnings from the third fund were $280 more than the earnings from the first. How much was invested at 5%? And we're asked to choose an answer from these 4 choices. Let's find the answer by going through the 5-step problem-solving process. We'll first familiarize ourselves with the problem. We'll let X, Y, and Z represent the amounts invested at 2%, 3%, and 5% respectively. Now, the amounts earned by these funds, the 2% investment will earn 2% of X, or if we express it in decimal notation, 0.02 times X. The Y dollars invested at 3% will earn 3% of Y, or 0.03 times Y. And the Z dollars invested at 5% will earn 5% of Z, or 0.05Z. Now let's use this information to translate to a system of equations. We'll write 3 equations since we have 3 variables. The amount invested was $30,000, and the amounts invested were X, Y, and Z, so X plus Y plus Z equals 30,000. The total earnings were $990, and we just saw what the individual earnings were. We'll add all of those together. We have 0.02X plus 0.03Y plus 0.05Z, and this is equal to 990. The earnings at 5% were 0.05Z, and these were $280 more. More than means we add. The earnings at 2%, which we said were 0.02 times X. So we have a system of equations in 3 variables. This is the system of equations that we just wrote using the 3 variables. And when we solve this system of equations, we get the ordered triple, 11,000, 9,000, 10,000. So let's check these amounts in the original problem. The first thing that we were told was the total amount invested was $30,000. So if we add $11,000 and $9,000 and $10,000, we do get $30,000, so that part checks. Now the earnings, we would have 0.02 times $11,000 plus 0.03 times $9,000 plus 0.05 times $10,000, and what we get here is $220 plus $270 plus $500, and this adds to $990, which is what we were told the total earnings were. The amount invested at 5% earned $500. Let's write 5%. Earned $500. The amount invested at 2% earned $220. And we can see that $500 is $280 more than $220, so that also checks, so that the numbers that we found do check in the original problem. And then we can state that $10,000 was invested at 5%. And we go back to the choices that we were given. We wanted to know how much was invested at 5%, so we see that choice B is the correct one.